Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Cloud, and welcome to my personal VOD reviews of Locals. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at Game 4 of Week 7 for the OP11 Meta, where I played Purple Black Luffy versus Purple Black Luffy. Here's the deck list that I played in this match, and if you haven't already done so, please go check out the Locals retro video I made that covers this deck list and my overall thoughts on how Locals went this week. Without further ado, let's hop into the game. Game number 4 for Week 7 of the OP11 Meta. I'm playing Purple Black Luffy versus Purple Black Luffy. We've got ourselves a mirror match. And in particular, if you haven't noticed yet, we're actually playing against the same Purple Black Luffy player that I lost to in Game 4 of Week 5. So I'm really happy to be running into him again. Hopefully this time I can take the win and get my revenge. Looking at this matchup though, it's going to be very interesting because it is again a mirror match, which means that we're going to be doing the exact same thing. Both of us are going to be trying to get to our 6 Dawn turn and playing out the Beer Luffy to make our leaders base 7k, and then from there it's really going to be about who has the better board presence really. Just trying to get our top end on the board and use it to swing at life or at board. So we'll see how it goes. Gonna wrap up the shuffling here, I think, pretty soon. I'll just put it on times 2 just in case. Like, I'm done, and okay, that wasn't too long. Great. Going into the dice roll, high roll as usual. I rolled a 10. And my opponent looks like they rolled a 3, so I get to pick turn order. And I already remember this match pretty well because this turn order is very important in the matchup. And unfortunately, I was trying to do the Dawn calculation in my head, but I kind of messed up. I chose to go second, thinking that my opponent would get to their 5 Dawn turn first, but I was sorely mistaken. Let's talk about this real quick. I think going first in the mirror matchup is actually better, and I learned that firsthand in this matchup, so let's go over it. Since I'm going second, I know my opponent will start with 1 Dawn. Then I'm going to go to 2 Dawn. And my opponent is going to go to 3 Dawn. And right here, this is kind of where I was expecting him to ramp, maybe go to 5 Dawn first. But something I forgot to consider is that I also ramp, right? So on their 3 Dawn turn, they're most likely going to ramp going to 4 Dawn. And then pass back to me. I'm going to go to 4 Dawn. And because I am again, Purple Black Luffy, just like he is, I'm also going to be trying to ramp. So I will actually get to my 5 Dawn first, which is really unfortunate because as you can see, as soon as the turn, passes back, they're going to be at 6 Dawn. And because I'm at 5 Dawn already, their Purple Black Luffy, their Beer Luffy is online. So that was kind of the first mistake I wanted to point out here. Going second was probably not the right choice. So to keep in mind for next time, going first in the mirror is probably better. But all right, let's take a look at our initial opening hand. There we go. We're starting off with a 3-cost Zoro, 3-cost Nico Robin, 4-cost Frankie, 6-cost Luffy, and 10-cost Luffy. Let's do our counter check. We've got a 2k. And a 1k. Yikes. This is a very low number. We only have 3k counter in hand. That's kind of scary because they are going first, which means they get to attack first. If they attack me, I don't know, 6 or 7k at the beginning, I'd have to burn both of these cards to get out of it, which is going to be very bad. Not to mention, if we go look at the cards themselves, Nico Robin right here is one of my ramp tools, so I don't want to be using the Nico Robin for counter this early, and so I most likely will have to take the first hit here from my opponent. But yeah, since we're already speaking about the cards, let's look at the rest. I am happy to see the Nico Robin, like I mentioned, because it is a ramp tool, but then I'm also happy to see the 3-cost Zoro. Similar effect to the Nico Robin, but again, it is another ramp card for me, and it's got an attacking stat line, which is going to be pretty important, so happy to see that. I am also happy to see the 6-cost Beer Luffy in my hand. This is going to be a very important card for this matchup, I'm going to be trying to get to my 7k base leader as soon as possible. So having it in hand means I don't have to search for it, which is really nice. I'm also glad to actually see the 4-cost Frankie. This card is really good because one, it's a blocker, but also it's one of the only card draw in my deck. So it will let me draw 2 cards from the top of my deck, which is really good for helping me see more options. Overall, this is a pretty good hand. Even though I'm low on counter, I do have my ramp, I have my top end, and I've got some defense in the blocker, so I wouldn't mind keeping this at all. Let's see what I decide to do though. Yeah, looks like we're gonna keep it. I think this is the right move here. I can always find counter later. Plus, I know that Purple Black Luffy isn't gonna be swinging a lot in the beginning. And it looks like my opponent also decided to keep their hand. So here we go, fist bump to start the game. My opponent kicks things off with 1 Dawn and passes the turn to me. I draw for the turn. It is the 6-cost Sanji, and then I go up to 2 Dawn. I don't have a 2 Dawn in play, so I'm gonna have to pass the turn back here to my opponent. They're gonna draw for turn, going up to 6 in hand. They're gonna go to 3 Dawn for their Dawn phase. Gonna tap all 3 Dawn, and they're gonna play the 3-cost Nico Robin. So the nice thing here is that because we are using the same cards, it's going to be easy to talk about. Nico Robin minus his 2 Dawn, then she's going to get 1 Dawn back as active, and then because of leader, he'll get 1 Dawn active and 1 Dawn rested. He attaches one of his active Dawns to his leader and goes 6k at my lead, and because I drew that 2k Sanji, I actually decide to counter here. That's not too bad. I kind of want to stay healthy right now because I know we've got bigger swings later. Pass back to me. I believe I drew another Zoro. I'll have to check again, but I'm going to tap 3 Dawn, play the Zoro, gonna minus 2 Dawn, get 1 Dawn back as active, 1 Dawn as rested from leader ability, and then 1 Dawn as active from Zoro, so I have 3 active still. Oh, we actually drew the 10-cost Luffy, okay. And nothing else to do, so I'm just gonna match, attach 7 to my leader, wrong color there, and we're gonna, attach 2 Dawn, and go 7k with leader to my opponent's life, which they decide to take. Okay, no trigger. Great. Nothing else to do on my turn. I pass back to my opponent. They're going to refresh. Draw for turn. Go up 2 Dawn to be at 6. And this is where I realized my mistake because he's going to tap all 6 Dawn. Play out the Beer Luffy first. Minus 2 Dawn from the Luffy effect. And then they get 1 Dawn back as active and 1 as rested from leader ability. And because I am at 5 Dawn, his leader is going to be at 7k this turn. And then it's going to be there until the end of my turn, which is unfortunate. My opponent has 1 Dawn left as active, 7k leader. And they're going to swing 7k at my life. So it's a good thing that I countered out early because now I can just freely take this 7k without really worrying about spending my counter. And I got the 3-cost Usohachi from my life. That's a good 2k counter. And okay, it looks like my opponent is going to attach their last active Dawn to their Robin and go 5k at my life. Sorry, I kind of drew the arrow short there. Should have been all the way over here. And I counter out for 1 with the Frankie. Passing back to me, I draw for turn. It is Gum Gum Lightning, and I go up to 7 Dawn. I've got to match him, so I immediately just tap 6 Dawn to play out my Beer Luffy. I minus 2 Dawn, and then because of leader ability, I'll get 1 Dawn back as active and 1 as rested. And now my leader is at 7k. And we're going to start off with 7k to lead, which they give a 1k counter for. Alright. I have 2 Dawn left. We're going to go ahead and attach 2 Dawn to the Zoro and swing another 7k at my opponent's life. And he pitches another 1k counter out of hand. Very interesting choice here. I think it would have been better for me to actually have attacked this Nico Robin with my Zoro. I could have just attached 1 Dawn and go 6k right here. This would allow me to bluff that I have Gum Gum Giant in my hand by leaving 1 Dawn up. And then it's most likely unlikely that they're going to counter out to protect the Nico Robin, so I remove a possible attacker. I know going 7k at life means that he did pitch 1 card here, but it's not too much value, right? He loses one card, it's not the end of the world. If I got rid of this Nico Robin, I have to deal with one less attacker. I think attacking the Nico Robin would have been better. But nothing I can do now. Pass back to my opponent. They're gonna refresh, draw for turn. And then they're gonna go up to 8 Dawn. This is scary because now we're at the kind of end phase already. We're already at 8 to 10 Dawn. We're gonna just start dropping as many big bodies as we can, really. This 10 cost Luffy in my hand isn't actually doing much for me because the 10 cost Luffy really is just a finisher. I can't play it out and I can't establish multiple of them, so it's kind of a dead card in hand at the moment. Looks like my opponent is going to tap 6 Dawn. And oh my goodness, they're playing the 6 cost secret rare Rush Luffy from EB02 very early. Looks like they're going to try to go really aggressive at me. They're going to start off with a 7k swing with the Rush Luffy. And they're going to not use the effect. Alright. I think that's smart from him because he knows he has to -2 Dawn from the Beer Luffy. If he has to -2 active Dawn from the Rush Luffy as well, he loses these active Dawn. And then he's also going to be going down on Dawn as well. So that's smart, just going 7k here. Fortunately, I actually draw my own. Sorry, going a little fast here. I draw my own 6 cost Rush Luffy from my life. I didn't want to counter here because, you know, I only have the 2k in hand at the moment. So yeah, that's fine. Just taking this hit. We've got another 7k coming at us in the form of the Beer Luffy. This one I do counter out because I don't want to go down to 1 life so early. So I give up the Nico Robin. And then they do -2 Dawn and they get 1 Dawn back as active and 1 as rested. They're going to go ahead and go another 7k with leader. And I have to pitch the Usohachi to counter out of that. I forgot I had that in hand actually. So safe there. And then they tap 1 Dawn to play the when you're at sea, you fight pirates to go searching. Let's see what they pick up. My hand state right now is not looking too good. So I'm kind of nervous actually. I've got no counter. I can play this 6 cost Rush Luffy as well. Looks like my opponent decided to pick up the 3 cost Nico Robin 2k counter. So I gotta keep in mind that they have a 2k counter in hand. They're gonna leave 2 Dawn up and then they're gonna pass the turn. So if I know anything about Purple Black Luffy, that could be a Gum Gum Giant in hand. And I draw my own 3 cost Nico Robin from the deck for the turn. And then I go up to 9 Dawn. Not quite at 10 yet, which is a little unfortunate. I could have dropped the 10 cost Luffy, but I don't think that's the play here. 10 cost Luffy would cause me to bottom deck all my characters as well, putting me at a very big disadvantage. Even if I get the second turn, right? So looking at the board state right now, we've got to deal with a double 7k swing right here, a 7k swing here, and of course a 7k with leader. I think I'm going to have to match and just go at board now, so I tap 6 Dawn to play out my own 6 cost secret Rush Luffy from EB02. And we're going to start off with going 7k with my Beer Luffy to their Beer Luffy. Minusing 2 Dawn, and then because of leader ability, I'll get 1 Dawn back as active and 1 as rested. They pitch a Usohachi for a 2k counter. Okay. I still know they have another 2k counter in hand. We're going to go ahead and do another 7k to the Beer Luffy. They give up that Nico Robin they drew, so now I know they don't have that 2k in hand. They are going down on hand size. They're down to 2 cards in hand. Ideally, I would want to clear both of these cards as soon as possible. Of the 2, I've been targeting the Beer Luffy because I don't want my opponent to be at 7k base. But it's a hard choice, right? And it looks like I'm gonna go ahead and use my Rush Luffy to do 7k to his Rush Luffy. And I don't use ability either, so I'm not gonna restand my Rush Luffy. That's fine, I don't wanna go down on Dawn because I do wanna try to get to 10 Dawn. And then with my 2 active Dawns that I still have, I attach it to Zoro, go 7k at his Beer Luffy, and he has to let it go. That's a good sign for me. Maybe he doesn't have enough counter now. I get to leave 2 Dawn as active to kind of not fake, but bluff a Gum Gum Giant just like he was. We'll see how he reacts to this now. And he had another Beer Luffy in hand. That is crazy. So he taps 6 Dawn, plays out the Beer Luffy, and now he gets to -2 Dawn, get 1 Dawn back as active and 1 as rested. Now his leader is back to being 7k. Fortunately, the Beer Luffy can't rush, so I know that he's only got really 1 attack with the leader right now. Depending on how he swings, I can protect my own board. If he goes for life, I might actually consider just taking it. And he attaches 2 Dawn, and he's gonna go 9k at my Rush Luffy. I think this is a smart choice, just kind of like my own turn previously. Let's pause real quick. I pivoted in my attacks from attacking the Beer Luffy because these double 7k swing is actually more annoying than dealing with the 7k leader, right? If I killed the Beer Luffy, he essentially still has 3 attacks, right? The two attacks from the Rush Luffy and then the leader swing. And you can just attach Dawn to make it 7k or more power. But by KOing the Rush Luffy, I know that I'm getting rid of that double attack, and I only have to deal with 2 attacks from my opponent. Fortunately, during my turn, I was able to get rid of both the Beer Luffy and the Rush Luffy, which was really nice. But you can see here, he's doing the exact same thing. He swung high at my Rush Luffy. I had to let that go because I only have a 2k counter in hand. He kind of can maybe figure that out, that I might not have enough counter for that. So we're kind of in the same position again. My opponent is going to attach 2 Dawn to his Nico Robin. And he's going to go, I think it was 6k at the Zoro, which I give up the 2k counter to protect my Zoro. The reason why I wanted to do that was because I wanted to maintain the attacker on board, so that is nice. And going back to me, I draw for turn. It was the 6 cost Black Secret Luffy. I go up to 10 Dawn. I now can play the, 10 cost Gear 5 Luffy if I want, but I don't know if that's going to be the right play here because I would be losing my 2 characters on board. My opponent only has 2 cards in hand. He still has 3 life. I think I really should get rid of this Nico Robin. Just getting rid of it would mean I have to deal with 1 less attack. And yeah, looks like we're going to do that, but we're going to do it via the Gum Gum Lightning. So I would -2 Dawn, and then I would get 1 Dawn back as active and 1 as rested from leader ability. And then Gum Gum Lightning lets me KO a 6k power or less character, so I choose the Nico Robin. I'm doing that so that I can leave my Zoro to attack my leader, or my opponent's leader. So we're going to attach 2 Dawn to my Zoro and go 7k at lead. I don't want to swing any higher because if he does have Giant, he's going to be over countering. And 7k swing is just like the minimal amount of Dawn investment I need to do. And you can see here, he gave up the Uso Hachi to counter out. We're going to go ahead and do another 7k swing with my Beer Luffy to lead. And here I'm going to, return the 2 attached Dawn to my Zoro so that I can just keep all my active Dawn. And he takes the hit. All right. My leader is now a 7k. And we're just going to go ahead and do another 7k swing at life, which he has to also take. So I'm feeling pretty good because, yep, I still have my Dawn up. I tap 6 Dawn to play out that 6 cost secret. I'm just going to call it Gear 4 Luffy. I should have been doing that just because it's easier to reference. But yeah, now I have a 7k body on board. If my board gets cleared, I know at least I have 1 more attack next turn. Pass back to my opponent. They draw for turn, going up to 4 cards in hand. They're still at 10 Dawn. And let's see what he decides to do here. I'm not in fear of losing because I know he has 2 attacks and I have 2 life. If he does drop the 10 cost Luffy, that would be a little scary actually, because he would get an extra turn, which means he has additional 2 more attacks. But it looks like he's gonna tap, I think that's 9 Dawn, and he plays the 9 cost Rush Luffy. This is one that we haven't seen really, so let's go ahead and pull that card up on screen. Once I find it here. There it is. This Luffy is a purple 9 cost 10k power strike character with no counter that says on play. You may return 1 or more Dawn cards from your field to your Dawn deck. Draw 1 card, and then this character gains Rush during this turn. So you can see the differences in our deck. Again, my deck list is kind of, a downgrade from his, technically. I don't have the 9 cost Secret Luffy Rush one that he just played. I don't even have multiple copies of the 6 cost Rush Luffy. So that's why I am playing this Gear 4 6 cost Luffy. It's a little unfortunate, but it is nice knowing that my deck does have some black cards in it, and it's not just a pure purple deck like my opponent is playing. But you can see the difference in power here. He's got another rush unit. Now I have to deal with 3 attacks. So let's see how we handle this. But so far, I think I've been playing this the best I could. Not seeing too many glaring misplays other than maybe the early ones. And then because he chose to minus 2 Dawn with the 9 cost Luffy, he actually gains 1 Dawn back as rested and 1 Dawn back as active. He's going to start out with a 10k swing with the 9 cost Luffy to my Beer Luffy, which I just let go. And then he's going to go 7k at the Zora, which I also have to let go. And then he does minus 2 Dawn to make his leader is 7k. He's going to go 7k at my life. And I have to take it. No other choice. And it's the 7 cost Sanji, which is a rush unit. Okay, I draw for turn. It's another 7 cost Sanji. Interesting. And now I've got to ask myself, do I try to go for game here because he is at 1 life and I have all my Dawn? Or do I try to prolong this a little bit? And I start off with a 7k swing with my 6 cost Luffy, which he counters out for. And here I actually do tap all 10 Dawn to play out the 10 cost Gear 5 Luffy. I minus all 10 Dawn, I've got to bottom deck all of my characters, but it gives me an additional turn. I do also gain 1 Dawn back as active and 1 as rested from leader ability after the minus 10. And then thanks to the 10 cost Luffy ability, I will actually gain 1 Dawn. Let's actually just look at that 10 cost Luffy real quick. This Luffy is a purple 10 cost 12k power strike character with no counter that says on play. Dawn minus 10, place all of your characters other than this character at the bottom of your deck in any order. Then after this turn, take another turn. Activate main once per turn. You may rest 1 Dawn, add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as active. And so that's how I got back to 3 Dawn. I gained 2 back from leader ability, 1 of them is active. I tap that active one to gain 1 more Dawn, so now I'm at 3 Dawn. And the reason why I'm playing out this 10 cost Luffy is because it gives me that additional turn. And because that additional turn is a completely new turn, my opponent loses out on his 7k leader, which is what I was hoping for. So yeah, let's see if we can take it from here. Back to me, because I get the additional turn I draw. It is the 3 cost Nico Robin. I go up to 5 Dawn. I will use the 10 cost Luffy abilities again to tap 1 Dawn and gain 1 Dawn as active. And now it's all about trying to go for game here. He's got 3 cards in hand, 2 Dawn active. I know his leader is only 5k, so I could just swing 10 and 12 and try to go for game. That would probably be the move. But I guess I'm afraid of a potential giant. He's got 3 cards in hand, so if he giants here, he goes +4. And then because I'm only swinging 10k with Luffy, he would just need a 2k. Or he just takes this hit, and then he just saves up as much counter as he can for the 12 costs. And it looks like I'm trying to prolong the game. I don't know if this is the move, but okay. We're gonna go 12k at the beer Luffy. Getting rid of that. I wonder why I didn't just go 12k at his 10k. Yeah, this is where things are starting to look downhill for me and I'm just playing wrong here. But alright, it looks like he's gonna actually use the Giants. Trashing a 9 cost Luffy from hand to go +4 to get to 11. And then he draws 2 card. And he did not see any counter. Okay, so it's dead. That's good news for me. But now I'm still wondering, how am I gonna get rid of this 10 cost Luffy? What was I thinking here? Yeah, I think this was a misplay. I probably should have just gone for game. 10k, whoops, wrong color. 10k with my Luffy using my 5 Don. And then 12k with the 10 cost Gear 5 Luffy. Because if he's got it, he's got it. I've already kind of messed up here by attacking at his board and not even attacking at his bigger character. I now am in a tough position to try to figure out how to survive. Really bad misplay on my end, I think. No, yeah, not even I think. It just was a bad play. See, here's the problem. I also want to leave up 1 Dawn to try to bluff that I have Giant in hand as well. So that's why I was considering 9k. But I only attach 2. And I just go ahead and do a 7k swing, not a 9k. At life, which he takes, it was a trigger. It was the Gum Gum Lightning, which allows him to ramp 1 Dawn. And he uses it to get 1 Dawn back. And then I have to pass the turn. I've got 4 cards in hand. 3 Dawn up. And then now my opponent is at 9 Dawn with 4 cards in hand. But he's got a really big attacker here. He's going to tap 7 Dawn. Or sorry, 6 Dawn. He's going to play the 6 cost Rush Luffy. Damn, he found one. Alright, so I have to deal with the 7k swing right now. And he does use the Rush Luffy's ability to restand. Yeah, so he returned 2 of his active Dawn. Then he gains 1 back as active and 1 as rested. Which is why he's at 2 active Dawn remaining. Yeah, there's no way for me to really live here. He's got a 7k again with this Luffy. 10k here. And another 7k here. So I have to counter out at this one to try to keep this life. I give up a 2k and a 1k. Only 2 cards left, which is still enough to bluff that I have Giant. But even with Giant, I don't think I'm getting out of this. Because now I gotta deal with 3 swings. He can easily just go 7, 7, and then 10. But it looks like, yeah, he's gonna just go 5 at me. Okay, trying to see if I have Giant or not. Unfortunately, there's no way I can let this through. Because if I let this through, he can just attach 2 Dawn to his 9 cost Luffy and go 12k at me. I have to counter here with my last 1k in hand. Oh, I'm choosing to take it. Alright. And it was the 2 cost Nico Robin blocker. So, yep, he's gonna go 9k with his Rush Luffy, and that is game, and I lose. GG's to my opponent. Wow, it was a pretty close game. We are both playing, I think, pretty well, using our cards to somewhat their most optimal plays. But I think in the end, it just came down to me having, I guess, less experience on the leader and not sequencing my final attacks well at the end there. If we go back to my turn, and we're actually going to go back to the second to last turn for me. Right before I played the 10 cost Luffy here, I don't know why I didn't choose to just swing big with my two characters here, or my character and my leader here. He's got, I think, 3 cards in hand with 2 Dawn up. I could have swung, let's see, if I want to divide up 10 Dawn between my 2 leaders here, it would probably be something like 6 and 4 to make it just both 11k swings. Right, if I had done this, that is one opportunity I could have had to win, since in order to get out of an 11k swing. Oh, that's right, he is a 7k leader though. I see. By being a 7k leader, it is kind of tricky. If he has Giant here, which he hasn't really played one this entire game, so the chances of him having one in hand and it's just been sitting there is pretty high. By splitting the Dawn like that and just going 11, it's an easy counter out, right? If he plays the Giant, he goes up to 11. He just needs one more 1k from either the last card in hand or the 2 cards he draws, and he's free. At that point, you know, I'm still in that same situation as before. Maybe I could have just then pivoted and played or gone Dawn on my 6 cost here and KO'd this 10 cost here, maybe for another 11k. But then again, it is only 11 to 10, which means it would be a 2k counter. I guess, yeah, maybe 11 to the 7 here would have been the same plan. So I guess it was risky because he is a 7k leader, and with Gum Gum Giant, you just get +4, which is insane. But okay, I just wanted to point that out. I could have done 11-11 here, maybe even switched up the numbers and go like 9 and 13, potentially. That would have been okay. If I got 9, he would have to give up a 2k and a 1k anyways, and he'd go down to 1 card in hand. Yeah, maybe that was a better sequence. But alright, moving on to after I played the 10 cost Luffy. Again, same situation. I don't understand why I didn't just choose to attach all my Dawn and swing large here. I talked about it before. Could have just attached all 5 of my Dawn here and just go 10k and then 12k. Right? He's no longer at 7k power, so for his leader. So if he plays the Giant, he does go +4 and he would only be at 9k, but now he needs a 2k to get out of the 10k swing. And if he does have that, then I can pivot and try to attack at his board. And he would have very little cards in hand, so I think that would have been a better play. If he had taken that 10k swing, then I'm just open for a 12k, and I just gotta hope that he does not have enough. But yeah, in the end, once again, I kind of chickened out, and I tried just going at his board to live an extra turn, since I was like, I do have 4k counter in hand here. Maybe I can live. I got 1 life, 4k counter. And it did not pay off, so oh well. If you guys saw if you guys saw anything else that I missed or have any things I could have done better, please leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, GG's to my opponent. And yeah, that's gonna do it for the final game of week 7. Thanks for watching, and I guess I will see you guys in the next week. Bye. Until next time, remember, keep your minds fresh and your spirits free. See ya.